Telemachus is about to leave Eumeneus' hut and head back to his palace.
Daddy, I'm off to town. I must show myself to my mother, for she will never stop weeping and wailing until she sees me.
That is a very good idea. I will follow behind
The
tomorrow.
palace with spear in hand and is greeted by Penelope.
Penelope!
So you have come back, Telemachus, light of my eyes. I never thought to see you again after you went over to the Sea of Pylos, secretly, without my consent, to seek news of your father. Now tell me, what did you hear?
My dear mother, don't cry. Do not harrow my feelings, for I have escaped death. Now go get cleaned up, for I am going down to the market to bring home a guest.
Telemachus left the palace with his spear and 2 dogs. He was full of enchanting grace by power of Athena, and everyone stared at him as he walked along. All the pretenders crowded about him with pleasant speeches, but there was hatred in their secret hearts. He kept clear of the crowd, however, and seeing a group of his father's old friends, Mentor and Antiphus and Halitherses, he went and sat down beside them to answer all their questions. Piraeus came along the street to the market, bringing his gifts. Telemachus, send some of your maids to collect the gifts from Menelaus.
Well, we don't know how things will go yet. If one of these headstrong men kill me in my sleep, then I would rather you have the gifts than one of them.
Telemachus returns to the palace with a stranger to be bathed by the maids.
Telemachus, my son, I think I'm going to lay down in my bed of sorrows, unless you have anything to tell me about Odysseus.
I will tell you about my journeys. First I went to Pylos to find King Nestor. He was very kind and generous, but did not know anything about Odysseus. So he sent me to his grace King Menelaus. There I saw Helen and Menelaus, and he asked me what brought me to the island. And I told him the whole story. He then proclaimed that Odysseus would return and kill the suitors. As to your question, the old man of the sea told me he has seen him on an island very unhappy, in the house of Calypso, who is keeping him there by force. He cannot return to his native land because he does not have crew nor ship to sail. This is what his grace King Menelaus told me. When that was done, I came back. The immortals granted me fair wind and brought me safely home. Honored lady of Odysseus Laertides, indeed he does not know the truth, but pay heed to what I say, for I will reveal it to you and hide nothing. O Zeus, bear witness first of all the gods, and this hospitable table in the hearth of Odysseus, where I take refuge, that Odysseus is barely now in his native land, resting or walking and inquiring all of these evil transactions. Indeed he is, and he is playing the doom of these men.
As the suitors prepared for dinner, Odysseus and the swineherd headed for town. As they marched down the rocky path, they met Menelaus Odalios, and his 2 hinds were with them.
Man, look at this bum. Dressed in all rags, doesn't even know how to dress. Looks like he hasn't bought new clothes in 10 years. I'm done.
O Lord Zeus, make this man pay for what he has done to the old man.
Oh, how I wish Apollo would shoot Telemachus with his silver bow, or these fine men would make good work of him, just as surely as Odysseus is dead far away from home.
After their encounter with Menelaus, they reached the palace of Odysseus, and Telemachus was the first to spot them. Athena secretly whispers to Odysseus,
Odysseus, go around to all of the men and ask for a piece of bread. The decent ones will give you a piece of bread, and the lawless ones will not.
oh, that's a good idea.
You have a piece of bread to spare for an old man like me.
You look pretty sorry, so here you go.
Oh, thank you very much.
Odysseus continues to beg until he makes his way over to Antinous.
Do you have any extra bread for me?
Oh, well, look here. It's the bold-faced beggar here to steal all my food. How about you just take some from this big house? There's plenty of food here, and get out of my face.
You're just a stupid, selfish suitor.
You know what? You're not leaving without a scratch on your face.
Odysseus and Antinous continue to argue, while Odysseus holds back his anger. Penelope hears them bickering.
Go, my good Eumeneus, run and tell the stranger to come here. If I want to bid him welcome, and ask him if he has ever heard or saw anything of my husband. He seems like a great traveler.
Oh, Penelope, what great stories he has to tell. He told me of his boat crashing onto the shore and him coming straight to my house for shelter. He's only been at my house for 3 days, but I already know that he has not told all of his stories. Maybe he will tell you more.
If only Odysseus would come back to his own country, he and his son would soon punish these
The
men.
swineherd goes off to fetch Odysseus.
Old man, the mistress wants to see you. She wants to know what happened to the master. And if she finds that you are telling the truth, you will be rich beyond your wildest dreams.
I will tell everything true to your noble lady.
Penelope, the old man said he would be honest with you.
And where is he?
He talks good sense. He just wants to wait until all the rowdy men are gone. He says to wait till sunset.
Eumaeus returned to the dining hall and told Telemachus he is going home to watch for his swine. Eumaeus returned to the dining hall and told Telemachus he is going home to take care of his swine. And that is the end of chapter 17. Chapter 18 starts by describing a town beggar named Arneos, who is also known as Iros, who is trying to kick Odysseus out of the house. Antonius hears their disagreement and begins talking to all of the suitors.
My friends, Eros and the stranger are spoiling for a fight. Let us match them at once. The better man will be allowed to share a meal with us whenever they like, and they will be the only beggar allowed in this house.
Odysseus was preparing for the fight, and Athena gave him more powers, while on the other hand, Iros was afraid to fight and was forced to by the suitors.
I won!
Odysseus drags Iris outside the house, and when he returns, is complimented by many of the suitors.
Good job on the fight. It was very fun to watch. I hope you have many happy days ahead of you.
You are a very courteous man. But when Odysseus returns, I know that he will kill all the suitors. So I advise that you leave as soon as possible.
Now Athena put a new plan into the mind of Penelope to show herself to the pretenders, that she might flutter their hearts and be even more valued by husband and son than ever before. Athena used her mystical powers to make Penelope even more beautiful than she was before.
My lady, if all the men on Ithaca could see you right now, they would want you to be their wife.
That beauty you are talking about left with Odysseus when he went to war. If all you suitors loved me, you would buy me lavish gifts.
Penelope's speech, all of the suitors brought her proper gifts. Odysseus calls all of the suitors ungrateful, and this angers Eurymachus.
Base clown, I'll punish you for talking like that before all this company, bold as brass. I wonder you are not ashamed. The wine has gone to your head, no doubt. Or are you always talking like that with your bibble babble?
After the stool was thrown, the whole room went into uproar, and Telemachus enters to try and break it up.
Gentlemen, what is this? You are acting like fools. Why can't you just sit and eat your food and drink quietly? You must now all go home. Men, this is quite fair. No one has any right to object or to be annoyed. No one shall maltreat the stranger or anyone else. Now let's say grace and go home.
With that, they said their final prayers and went home. That is the end of chapter 18.